What's up, everybody? I'm Chris. Welcome to the channel. We're here at my house in sunny Sacramento. It's a nice, beautiful, sunny day. So I thought it might be a good time to take you on a tour around the garden. It's my first video, so just bear with me. I'm here accompanied with my son, Ryan. Say hi, Ryan.
Hi.
Hi. You excited to be on YouTube? Huh? Say it. You have a big audience. Now I'd like to start off over here in this corner. I call this the citrus corner. We have 4 different kind of citrus plants here. And this first one's the Clementine Mandarin. That's one of my favorites because it's small and you could peel the skin easy, and it's sweet. It's the little cuties you buy at the store. So my kids love it, and it's a little easier than just regular oranges to peel. So that's one of our favorites. And then we got the lemon. It's the Eureka kind. That's one of the more sour, zesty kind of lemons. The other ones are kind of sweet. They call those the Meyer lemons. And I haven't grown it or tried it, but I figured I'd rather just get a zesty kind of sour lemon instead of the sweet one. You can always add sugar if you make lemonade or something like that. So this is all just an experiment and my first time gardening, but I've always loved plants and been in the outdoors and just like chilling out sometimes when I get off work and looking at them. So something I like to do. It's a little hobby of mine, and he likes it too. Takes after his dad. This one is the Burrs line. This is one of the first ones I planted, so it's a little bit bigger than the other ones. This one has some new growth because it's been in there at the same time. So once they start to develop their roots, they really start taking off. This one came a little bit later, so it has teeny tiny little buds in there, but they haven't taken off like these. These are all new right here, these green ones. And this is the Washington Navel Orange. That's supposed to be really good, more popular just for taking straight off of there and eating and peeling. The Valencia one's good for juicing, but that one would probably be good for juicing too. Yeah, juice. Huh? Juice? You like juice? Huh. You gonna take a tour with me too? And this one's the Bartlett pear tree. It's gotten pretty big. It's got new growth on it on top. All these came out. It used to just be like crisscross. Now it's just all coming up at once. So I'm pretty happy about that. Everything's really taken off here. It's been planted in the ground for about 3 months now. It's the middle of August, and I planted it about starting May. So I really got in kind of at the right time, because if I would have waited any longer, they would have been sold out of a lot of stuff. Because after that, when I started checking out the stores, they didn't have this good stuff anymore. So the timing was perfect when I just moved into this house, which was the beginning of April. Brand new house. So I'm really happy about that. Excited. One thing I wanted to do when I first moved here was fix the backyard. And I got a little obsessed, got it done in like 2.5, 3 months. But I figured the sooner the better, so these plants would have more time to take in the sun and get big, as big as they can before winter, and then go dormant. So this one's the avocado. It's gotten pretty big. When I first planted it, it started losing some of these big leaves, but now it's just exploding on top of blooms of new foliage. All these leaves just popping out. Looks like a little crown on top. Looks cool. It's a different color. a little bit brownish. Now this one over here is a blueberry high bush. It's called the pink berry. I guess the berries on it are supposed to be pink, so I thought that sounded pretty interesting. I think the specific name was pink lemonade blueberry, so I definitely had to get on that when I saw that. Then this one over here is a blackberry satin. Since I have multiple of these kind of bushes, I keep the little tags down here, but I'm gonna do something that looks a little more legit than just leaving a little tag down there. So this one I pruned because they say you have to prune the old branches so new branches can grow out, because that's what you get the berries on for the next year. So that's what I did. So it looks a little plain, but they are growing on top. Look, we got butterflies out here. Ever since I put this garden in, I noticed a whole lot more bugs coming through, like butterflies and dragonflies, and these cool looking moths. And there was a grasshopper, which I thought looked cool, but then I started seeing some of my leaves being chewed up. So then I realized it was a grasshopper, so I started to shoo him out of my garden now. But he was cool looking. I took pictures of him. Over here, we got another blueberry. This one's called peach sorbet or sherbet, however you want to pronounce it. And this one came actually with some ripe blueberries on it when I bought it. And so I got to sample it, and it tastes really good. And I tried to prune some of the old stuff out of the middle. Hi. Oh, that's my boy up there. Just filming a YouTube video. Say hi. Yeah. So say hi. That's Nathan. And yeah, you say hi too, huh? So yeah, a lot of the middle is pruned out, but there's a whole lot more growth on top here. This one's been doing excellent. This is just a raspberry, and it's just popping leaves everywhere, all the way up the trellis, and it just keeps going. It's my main producer, well, as far as the whole structure filling out, and hopefully next year I get a lot of raspberries. Yeah, that's cool, huh? The wind chime I have over here. Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Come on. Yeah, cool, huh? And we got a little wind spinner when it gets windy out here. It's a pretty cool addition to the whole thing. I put a hummingbird feeder, but it just kind of bakes in the sun. And I see the liquid go down, but I think it's just the liquid evaporating. Maybe it's too hot for the hummingbirds and I might have to move it. So yeah, that'll be moved. This one is a Rainier cherry. This one needs a pollinator. So I have another cherry over here. It's one of the more popular ones, and who doesn't like the white cherries? So this one still has some catching up to do to the rest, but I kind of planted it later, and the roots are just probably growing underneath. And then once those kind of take hold in the ground, then the rest of the plant starts taking off on top, because that's what I've experienced from all my other plants. It just takes about a month, month and a half. Some start growing quicker than others. And they wilt a little bit at first, but it might lose some leaves or get some brownage on the leaves. But after that, once it adjusts and gets over that shock, it really just starts taking off. So some of these plants I kind of got a little worried, but after a while they actually started doing pretty good, especially in this 100-degree summer heat. Sacramento, they do wilt a lot and get a little yellow or brown. So just keep it watered, and I whitewash the stems with this white paint I bought online, and they say it's actually protects from sunburn and helps cool down the plant in the heat, and it actually has worked pretty good, so it's just an extra protectant for that. So you know, every little bit helps, so these trees can thrive over here. And this one's called a jelly bean blueberry. It's a pretty big bushy one. I tried to prune it down as much as I could, but it's still pretty bushy. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how each one of these blueberries bush is unique in its own way, because there's different types. This one did come with some blueberries already ripe out in the bush, so we got to sample it and they were good too. This is my other blackberry. This one's different from that other blackberry that I had, the satin kind. It just says blackberry on the label, but it's really low growing, kind of bushy one. This foliage is really thick and it's thorny, so you got to be careful when you're going through it. But it's been doing good the whole time, all these bright green ones. And then I got 2 nectarine bushes back here. This is called high density orchard growing. So what you do is you just take 2 kind of dwarf versions of the trees, and you could plant them real close, and as they grow older, you could prune them and maintain them and trim them into looking like one tree. So that's my plan here with these ones, because they're supposed to stay only about as high as this fence, maybe a little bit taller. They both look the same. This one is a white nectarine, the Snow Queen, and it's a super dwarf, so it really stays as small as they get. This one, I forgot which one is called, but it's more like a red nectarine. So we have the 2 different kinds, and then when you have 2 different varieties of the same kind of fruit tree, you get the cross-pollination, and they help to get bigger fruit, stuff like that. So it does help. Otherwise, it is a self-fertilizing tree, and it will get fruit anyway. So yeah, these other 2 are some high bush blueberries. One was just called Blueberry Northern, and one was just a blueberry on the label, so I'm not quite sure which one. But I wanted to fill in all these gaps in between the trees with some pots and trellises, and kind of maximize what I could put back here with the space, and not compromising, you know, how it looks and the amount of sun it could get by putting it too close together. So I think it really worked out pretty good so far. This one is an apple tree, and this one's cool because it's grafted with 6 different varieties of a apple on it. So each branch here that you see is a different kind. It's got Gala, Fuji, Yellow Delicious, Red Delicious, and another one that I never really heard of. A couple of other ones, Gravenstein. Yeah, you got all these good ones. It's mostly full of ones I've heard of. Yeah, but I can't wait. At first it was wilting in the 100-degree heat, but now it's really taking off. It's getting all this bushy green foliage. So I'm really happy about that. But I thought this was cool because it's only gonna grow sideways here. And then I get all this space back here. I was thinking of maybe putting a bench there. And it'd be like when everything fills out, it'd be a little kind of secret spot back there. This one back here is the goji berry. And it does really well out here in the heat. I planted it maybe a couple months ago, and I actually got a half off of it because it was only a a few good looking sticks, and the other sticks of it were just plain, and it looked like it was half dead. But you know, I did my research before I planted all this, so I could figure out what I want to do, and figured out that this thing is a vigorous grower and it does really good out here, and I had enough confidence that I could bring it back to life, and I did, and now it's just booming. This thing is supposed to take off. Kind of needs a trellis to give it something to lean on, otherwise it just kind of falls over. Well, it could just be falling on the ground when it gets too big, so it needs a little support. So if I put that bench there, it'd just hang over the bench, look really cool back here. This big trellis is just for the passion fruit down here, which I heard is another vigorous grower. And I planted this maybe a couple weeks ago, and it lost a few leaves, but then it kind of adjusted, and now it's starting to take off. It's supposed to fill out this whole thing, believe it or not, probably within the next year or two. And it had this big bulb on it, so I thought it might just be a vine coming out. And this morning when I came out, I was surprised that it was a flower. So there's my first passion fruit flower. I don't think it's gonna turn into a fruit because I think it needs other flowers to pollinate. And over here, same thing with my pomegranate. The only flower that it got. Looks pretty cool. So I'm really happy about that. I have 2 pomegranate bushes over here. A couple of different varieties, and they help to cross-pollinate and create bigger fruit. One is the Wonderful variety and a white variety. So Wonderful is the most popular. It's kind of tangy. The white one's more sweet, maybe a little bit smaller. And over here, I kind of ran out of room. Here goes Nathan again. Say hi. Hi. They like to come out in the backyard and play. So if there's noise in the background, I apologize. But you know, I gotta watch the kids and garden. So over here we have the cherry tree. This one's a Lambert. It's like a black cherry. So that one will cross-pollinate with the white cherry there. That one is the smaller one. This one's definitely bigger. But it just started even popping this new branch out, getting all this new growth after it was just kind of stayed the same for a couple months. Now it's just taken off since I planted it. And just getting stuff everywhere, all between the leaves. They're called nodes, and sometimes they grow out. That's where the plant likes to grow the new leaves. If they do lose a branch, or if they lose their leaves, they kind of grow out from the new node over there. This is the guava, just a strawberry guava kind. And this one's gotten probably twice as big. They're just shooting out everywhere over here. The sun faces that way when it comes out in the morning. Right now, it's the afternoon, so the sun's going over the other side of the house. But this gets all the sun in the morning when it first comes up. It gets 6 hours, so that's pool sun. That's all you need for these plants to really flourish and thrive. It's about 6 hours or plus. And if you don't, they still grow, just not as much or as big. Or if they're fruit plants or vegetables, they're not going to grow as big of vegetables. So it is important to make sure you get the full sun duration in. This one's a mango. It grows little red leaves on top when the new stuff comes out. So it's pretty cool looking. And then as it ages, it turns green and it gets very thick and hard. So, and then it stays like that for a while, and it starts growing taller between here and up, and then it grows another red one when it's ready for the other set of leaves on top to come out. And these two are tropical, so I put them in the pots for a reason, and that's maybe I can move them inside of my garage when it becomes freezing outside, because when you get frost or below freezing temperatures, it can harm the subtropical plants because they're more sensitive to that. Or it'll just be easier to move it around where maybe it's not as windy. But I am planning on getting frost covers for these plants. So yeah, I figured I'd try and experiment with this. This is my first year doing this. I thought this guava is a beautiful plant though, because it's just green everywhere. I've never had a brown leaf or any kind of wilting, anything since I bought it. It's just taken off and it's getting stuff everywhere. So I do recommend these if you live in a climate as fortunate as we are here in Northern California, where it doesn't get too hot or too cold. This is all the supplies I've had left over. The pile of dirt, I've actually got rid of a lot more dirt, but still a huge pile from all the holes I've had to dig. It's taken me quite a bit, but I've done it. Now let's go on here on the side, starting with the arbor. I always wanted one of these for the entrance here on the side. And on the side it does kind of widen and spread out, so it's a bigger area compared to the other side of my house. So perfect just for a little patio and to hang out. We call it the chill out zone, because when you want to chill out, you go in this zone over here. Hey buddy. Sometimes he gets a little restless. Hey, let's go in the chill out zone. Yeah. So I always wanted one of these tunnel trellises, and when I saw somebody on YouTube that had it, I really wanted it. So I found out you have to go to your local farm supply store to kind of pick these up, because they're called a cattle panel. And then you got to rent like a rental vehicle to transport it, because it's so big. So it's a little bit of a hassle, but so glad I put it in here. This one's the Thompson seedless green grape, and it is directed over here onto the trellis, and it's gonna fill this whole thing up. It says it could get up to 25 feet, so it's pretty big. The first year this thing has just taken off everywhere. It gets these little hooks and it just grabs on and it just keeps going everywhere. And then that's the Thompson one. This one is the Flame seedless grape, so it's gonna be a red table grape. And this one's a little bit twiggier on the main stem, but it grew super long on top, so I was able to hang it over and go on the other side of the arbor. So one side will be green, one side will be red. Just give it different variety, more flavor. And this one over here is called the Golden Chalice grape. So since golden's in the name, I'm assuming maybe it's a more yellowish grape. So this one, when I first bought it, I kind of left it in the sun too long, and I came back from work and all the leaves had turned brown and started falling off, and I was about to return it, but I kept it in the shade and still watered it a little bit. And to my surprise, all these little buds started growing back, and now the foliage is just growing like crazy. But I think it stumped the growth because it didn't grow as tall as the other ones. But it really just built back up the structure, it is climbing this trellis. So yeah, even if a plant may look dead, you know, just hang it in there. Don't give up, and just maybe put it in a partial sunny area and keep giving it water, and you'll be surprised sometimes. Plants are very durable, you know, persistent. So here's one of the plants. This one wasn't doing so good when I first planted it, and I probably should prune off these half dead leaves, these older ones. These are the new ones coming out. They get these little vine heads, and this is the main stem here. It goes all the way up to the top. It's the biggest grower here, and it has some vines kind of branching off there, but it just goes up and up, and they twist around these, unlike the grape where the stem is just hard and it has these little hands that cling on, and you got to kind of guide it in and out of these levels of the trellis. This one will just find its way. The kiwi will just find its way to wherever and just do its own thing and just wrap around. It become a really strong structure for when it starts getting fruit. So this one has went all the way up, and I expect probably by the end of the season it'll probably go up halfway or probably more. Same with these grapes. So it is summer right now. We still got till fall, and then once winter hits, that's when they all just kind of become dormant. Some lose their leaves, some are evergreen, but they just stop growing for the winter. The other one down here, the other kiwi plant back here, it started growing out this, and it's growing all these little vines here. They're gonna crawl up. This was one of the main ones. It found its way over to the grape, and it doesn't really want to go on the trellis. It wants to follow the grape, so I think I might just let it go and do what it wants. I let all this other kiwi vines do what they want. This one's wrapping around up here. This one came from behind the grapes and is wrapping around up here. So it's just growing like crazy. And I've heard some people in other videos maybe having little problems. So I recommend put it in partial sun and not full sun if you want to have success. That, at least that's how I've had success so far. So that's my tip. And then I got my kids spinning on the furniture, using it like a playground. But as long as you have fun, huh, guys? Which they are. And then this used to be an indoor toy, but he started putting rocks and dirt in it, so now it's an outdoor wagon. Over here in this corner, since it's the patio, I wanted to just put ornamental plants, which is plants that are just there for decorations, like ones that would have a lot of flowers that you would enjoy, that would give you visual pleasure. And all my other plants are edible plants, you know, that will benefit me in nutrition stuff. So I'm excited about that. So I got a half of a wine barrel, and I figured I'd just put a bouquet of flowers in here. So I bought a couple different kinds, and it just came as a combination. I was able to just plug it in there, throw some dirt around it, and that was easy to plant, even though it looks like I put all different kinds of plants, flowers in there. Just go to your Home Depot. That's where I got it. This one is a vine that has these really pretty pink flowers and a white flower combination. So I need to get a bigger trellis for back here. And eventually it gets so big it's gonna go up and over the other side of the fence, and I'll even have flowers on the other side of the fence. But for now, it doesn't get much sun back here in the corners. But it gets enough reflective sun off of all the white paint and white surrounding that it does grow. You could even see it's getting all these new kind of leaves coming off of the branches. So actually all this new stuff popping out is new. So slowly but surely, your stuff will grow even in the shade, just probably at half of the rate or less. But once it reaches up here, it'll get full sun. This one is the tree version of it, which I thought was cool, so I had to get it. So I'm gonna have vines going over, and then the big bushy tree. A couple of crepe myrtles on the sides of this half a wine barrel. And these are the red ones. I kind of like the red ones. My dad suggested it, so I got it. And yeah, those already bloomed already, so I think they're done for the season. But this thing really pops with flowers, so it's good eye candy. This one is a Santa Rosa plum. It's actually the weeping version. So which means it has these really kind of thin twiggy branches that just shoot up, but once it fills with fruit, it just wilts down and it looks like a weeping willow, that kind of tree. It's a different version from the regular Santa Rosa, but Santa Rosa is by far everybody's favorite. And I don't buy too many plums at the supermarket, but I look really forward to this one. Like those and nectarines and peaches, the really easily bruisable fruit. This is the reason why the backyard growing is good, because you get it ripe off of the tree, and it doesn't get any better than that, besides being days in the supermarket and everybody's touched it and you get it kind of bruised up, or it's still hard, you gotta wait for it to get ripe. You can eat it ripe off of the tree if you do it in your own backyard and it's organic. You know where it came from. We got lavender over here. This was gonna be the little purple strip of plants out here. My daughter likes purple, and I thought it's cool. This is like the more pink stuff, and here's the purples. So this is the lavender. They got many different varieties of lavender at the store, but I just chose the variety that had the most bees buzzing around it. And actually, this variety had so many bees buzzing around it that I had a hard time just picking one, because I was scared I might get stung or like bother one. I didn't want to bother them. So I think it's the Spanish variety of lavender, and they attract the bees, and then the bees come back here and they pollinate all the fruit trees. So it's very beneficial to get some kind of plants that really attract the bees to the backyard. These two are ground covers, so they're gonna spread out and cover the ground with these little vines. They get purple flowers in the springtime, so I'll have to wait till next year for that one. The other lavender. And this one I just thought looked cool. It's a shrub with all these purple flowers that grow on it. They just kind of strips the little flowers on the branch of the shrub. So I just thought it looked really cool when I saw it. I've never seen something like this, and thought it would be a cool addition. And if it doesn't work out, what's nice is you can always replace it later. So you can always experiment with this stuff, and don't worry if it doesn't work out. You know, you might have wasted a little time, money, but it's always fixable. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the whole tour of the backyard. It's in the beginning stages of growing, and still has quite a bit to go. I can't wait till next spring when it all just takes off and it's nice weather, the flowers start coming out, and hopefully stuff will get pollinated. Maybe I'll get some kind of fruit from something. I'm not too worried about it. I just want everything to grow and get a nice structure for now. That's what you're supposed to do the first year or two. especially on the fruit trees. And it's been 100 degrees off and on, but it hasn't been too crazy. Well, thanks for taking a trip with us. This is a trip to our backyard, and we're gonna take trips and take you along. So I hope you enjoy the ride with us and come tune in next time. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. And peace.
Peace.
Say bye, Ryan. Say bye. Wave to the camera. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, kissy. Oh.